Pliny Park. Brattleboro's first physician, Dr. Gardner H. Hall, had his medical office and a drugstore in a small building on this corner. That building burned in 1797, and subsequently the corner was known for years as Dr. Hall's Garden. In 1820, Jonathan Hunt and his wife bought the corner property that extended west on High Street. Hunt built a Federal-style home that was set back from the street, resulting in a beautiful front and side yard shaded by trees. Hunt's home was the first brick house in Windham County and attracted sightseers. Hunt built a wooden law office directly on the corner. Jonathan Hunt was in the U.S. Congress from 1827 to 1832, and in 1830, Daniel Webster visited the Hunts in Brattleboro and planned speeches in that law office. This little building also served as an insurance office, an express office during the stagecoach years, and even a paddy shanty before being removed in 1872. Hunt died in 1832, and Mrs. Hunt owned the property through at least 1856. Hunt's sons are considered two of the most famous people in Brattleboro history. William Morris Hunt, born in 1824, and Richard Morris Hunt, born in 1828. Both young men studied in Europe, becoming world-renowned in their fields. William as an artist, Richard as an architect. Richard is known for designing the Vanderbilt estates, the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty, buildings at Yale and Princeton, various buildings in Paris, and the first apartment buildings in New York City. He was recognized by the Royal Institute of British Architects when Queen Victoria presented him the Gold Medal for Achievement, the first American to be so honored. William was a brilliant man and distinguished artist who was loved for his optimism and personable disposition. He encouraged struggling artists and was a great storyteller. Among his greatest accomplishments were The Discoverer in 1878, now in New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art, and The Flight of Night, now in Boston's Museum of Fine Arts. Brattleboro is the location of his prodigal son in 1851, and a relief from part of The Flight of Night hanging in Brooks Memorial Library. By 1869, George Howe, attorney, owned the brick home for a few years. In 1882, George Hooker bought the property. Subsequently, the house was referred to as the Hooker Mansion. Colonel George Hooker was a Civil War hero and successful businessman. He possessed an endearing disposition and a sense of humor. George Hooker died here in his home in 1902. Brattleboro grew commercially. Townspeople knew it was likely that new businesses would replace the tree-shaded Hooker estate, and local people urged town officials to make the land surrounding the house into a park. In 1920, although the home remained, the corner was void of trees, and a Ford sales and service garage filled this space. Directly behind the declining mansion rose the sizable Manley garage and apartment building. The old brick house remained tucked in between the Baptist church and new commercial buildings. During the 1920s, the mansion was rented at times by an undertaker, a restaurant, and a chiropractor's office. In 1928-29, the last use of the building was for St. Michael's School, housing temporary classrooms until their school on Walnut Street was completed. The Hunt-Hooker Mansion was torn down in 1929 to make way for the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company, 1929 to 1939, and Montgomery Ward Store from 1929 to 1975. A corner service station was here that included taxi services, an information booth, and the Red Cross. In 1971, Dunkin Donuts and its parking lot replaced the service station. Dunkin Donuts was demolished in 2002-2003 and replaced with a restaurant along with Pliny Park, dedicated to Pliny Burrows. Burrows was a merchant who established Burrows Sports Shop, was an original town meeting rep, member and volunteer of the fire department for 60 years, a World War II veteran, director of Brattleboro Savings and Loan for 42 years, and lifelong member of the American Legion.